I'm going to start recording and then I'm going to. I do not like this new update here. Oh, there's my face. Hey, Connie. Wanted some double time. Hear it again from Miami. Like I said, I'll probably add some different things. So.
I wasn't sure what tonight was. Are we still doing the sell or be sold, or this is
Mm,
just a recap of Miami?
No, this isn't so we're starting a new. I actually messaged Brooke to ask her, and she said, she
Oh,
felt like we kind of did everything we could about the book, the principles around the book. So we're starting a new
okay.
sales series. This whole month will be about follow up, and
Okay.
I'm kicking it off with my presentation from Miami specifically, which is just going to cover a lot of the different principles about follow up. And then each week we will probably do like, breaking down a few different things, talking about different systems, scripts, maybe some more action. But yeah,
Okay.
so, like I said, if you were in Miami, this is gonna feel like a little repeat, but that's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. I mean, I hear that. I mean, I think we're all, like I said, I have to tell my kids stuff a million times. No, I'm kidding. Do you know how many times, like, even in this industry where I'm like, oh my gosh, I heard that like on day one. Why aren't I doing it? Why aren't I doing it?
Yeah.
Repetition, I think, is really big. So,
Okay. Then I'll stay.
alrighty. I'm gonna wait till like 7:05 and then actually Brooke's here. I'm going to make her a co-host with me so she can let people in if I get going. Yep, definitely hear some kiddos getting reprimanded in the background here. Got to find out what they did. I just walked away for 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. So who is on here also doing the sales social media accelerator with Joan and Megan? Oh my gosh. I like was watching some of the replays and well today was like really really good. You are? Oh, I think I saw you today, Terry. Yeah, so I guess I'm the VIP on Friday, which I'm glad she reminded me today because I did not have that in my calendar. I had a different date. So I was like, whew, good. Oh, is it good? Coco's doing it. Jennifer, awesome. Megan is like a marketing pro. I've known her for years too. I'm not as close with her as I am with Joan, but like she like with the hooks and just how you're presenting our stuff it's really really good. Yep, super helpful. Awesome, awesome. Oh my gosh, listening to them in the back, it's killing me. All right, let's just get this bowling started. It's not good. So, essentially, we are going to spend the month of May, our sales training, focusing on follow up, the importance of it. I mean, honestly, I'm really excited, as always, to be with you guys. The topic that we're diving into is one that I believe really sets the hobbyist away from the builder. And it's the secret sauce, I believe, to consistent income, okay, team growth, and getting customers. So I think we've all heard the phrase, the fortune is in the follow up. That was one of the first phrases I heard when I joined the industry over and over again back in 2017. Today, we're going to feel that. We're going to talk about why following up isn't salesy, how to make it feel good, staying organized so you're not leaving money on the table, you're not leaving impact on the table, and you're also not hold on, I'm going to admit some few people opportunity sitting on the table. That's also something when we look at following up. So I always use Brooke's example with me as an amazing example of follow up, you guys. So when I met her through a group in 2020. Then she literally we started talking in 2021. It was a lot about the product. She was trying to sell me some hair product. I eventually ended up getting some like dry shampoo. I think I got some stuff for my pets. And then we became peers and she would just check in. And then it wasn't like I would say overly, but she definitely mentioned like always wanting to work together. Like she never would flat out say, "Hey, join me here," but she's like, "I want us to work together." Like she did like say that a lot and I'm like, and in my mind I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'd love us to work together. I'd love you to join me here." And she wanted me to join her hair there and it was just like really peers like that. And I'm saying like so that like I said, the first PM when I go back and scroll was 2021. Okay. Listen, then she made the switch to pharmacy September, October of 2024. And then instantly I actually asked her where she was going, and then she started following up with me about this business, right? I ordered, she followed up because of my order. She sent me more products. I was, she would just check in casually. And so when the thing happened that happened with my company, that when they changed the compensation plan, I already knew about pharmacy and I already had the relationship with Brooke. So what I'm saying is like follow up can if it's a long game, it can be years, you guys. And because when you think of this business, it can be. A lot of people don't think of it as like a long game at all. They're like, oh my gosh, this they said no, and it's done. It's done. That's it. It's never ever again. And then, a lot of times, and we're going to talk about here, is a lot of follow up is literally because of timing. And we're kind of go into that. So yes, that is the biggest mistake. And Brooke, you can always jump in too. People want immediate gratification. I like immediate gratification. I was actually telling some like that's why I never thought I would talk about wellness. Wellness products aren't immediate gratification, right? Skincare is not typically immediately gratification. And so people get discouraged when they're not seeing that. And always the last man standing, the one that's the most consistent is always going to be the winner. You think of it more as like a marathon, honestly. Is this not going to scroll down for me? Oh no. Oh no. Here we go. Okay. So why does follow up matter? So did you know that 80% of sales happen between the fifth and the 12th follow up? And the majority of people start after one or two. Okay. And that's it. Like I kind of said, they stop right away. They're like, oh my gosh, they don't want it. That's not strategy. That's missed opportunity. I gave the example of last week. Someone, actually, one of my leaders on the team, she said that she's like, I talked to her 3 times over the last since February. And it was always something, should I just stop? And I'm like, girl, no. Like, no, there's clearly a reason. Like, she's it's a timing thing or whatever. And honestly, within the last week, she ended up signing up. That girl, she ordered tons of different products. And actually, the girl that she signed up was like all interested in the leadership and all of that. So I'm like, what if she would have stopped at 3 times? Another person I like to give an example of is if most of you know Michelle Colello. So she's a great friend. She's a leader here. She was my biggest power leg at Color Street. And I asked her about joining me, and she was an instant no. Absolutely not. She said she was doing too much, too busy. And I kept following up. I eventually got her to host a party. She was a horrible hostess. I always say that, but she still did it for me. And I tried to get her to join then, and she was no. And I just kept planting the seed. So, like, the first time was July. By the end of October, she ended up signing up with me. And I just always think, like, what if that first no, I never would have circled back and checked in with her again? People get busy, situations in life, change. People are overwhelmed. And it's also like how you're looking at it. You're not annoying them, you're reminding them, you're staying present in a world that forgets everything every 8 seconds, honestly. So, and kind of sit there and ask yourself exactly, you're serving them. How many of you needed a follow up? An oil change, a discount you needed to grab, your dog needs their yearly appointment, something important like going to the dentist. think of follow up as service and not sales. So, like Brooke says, she had a lead tell her today to keep following up because she gets distracted. And Brooke said she knows that about her. I definitely have had my share of people that would say, hey, but don't stop following up with me. There's definitely people that are going to be like, no, I'm not interested. And we'll talk like, it's different how you circle with them. But people ghosting or whatever is not, or just not being interested is never a reason to just never check in with them again, if that makes sense. We're gonna let these. Oh my gosh, there's so many people still trying to get in here. All right, so we're going to talk about the different types of following up. Why does this keep doing this? This is annoying me. Hold on. There's too much going on in front of my face here. I might have to stop letting people in because I'm getting distracted by it. Where did it go? This is a Brittany moment, you guys. See, look, I'm a real person. Huh? Okay, so we're going to move some of this stuff out of the way. If people are late, they'll just have to catch the recording because it has distracted me way too much right now. Where did it go again? All right, we're going to go back to the types of follow up. Why does it keep going away? All right, we're going to break this down into 3 groups that you need to stay in touch with. The 3 groups are customers, okay? So customers, you're going to check in. Honestly, if you can, I always like to let them know like when their order has shipped. If that's not relatable, you're going to check in a few days after they get their order, making sure they're arrived, that they'll love it. If it's something you want to kind of encourage them to use it, because some people will let it sit there. I can tell you there's been a few people where I'm like, oh my, I'm more excited than them. I'm like, come on, let's do this thing, try it. And especially, I know everyone's different about samples, but definitely like you want people to try whatever that is, especially if you're expecting an order from it. You want to let them know the product work, give them tips. So when you're following up with a customer, give them tips like try it this time of day, make sure you're using it with this product. And then also suggest refills before they run out, especially if they're doing any type of wellness, skincare. If they've ordered L-carnitine, how many days that work. Hey, listen, you want to get this before it runs out. So then there's potential customer follow-ups, okay? So anytime there's a promo, a restock, a new testimonial, you're going to reach out. Hey, I know you were eyeing this. Right now, you guys, the $75 shipping. Yes, registered customers always get free shipping at $75. But listen, they don't know that for one. And for two, a lot of people check out as guests. So you still let them know. They may not know that. So it's still just a reason to follow up with them. Restocks. Listen, I had a lot of people interested in L-carnitine, the hydro drops, the gummies, all of that is restock. So I'm following up big time. When you have a testimonial, a new one of something they were already interested in, it's like, hey, you're thinking about them. Your job is to help them make a decision that serves them. So, like, you're kind of going to hear this theme. It's an active service. So, potential teammates. Potential teammates, obviously, they were curious. They asked you for more information. They didn't move forward. Check in with when timing's better. Maybe when there's a promotion. Again, today, anyone, you guys, I'm going to tell you, anyone that's on the fence, you're going to follow up with them today and tomorrow. They will get free shipping if they spend $75. So, you just wanted to let them know they crossed your mind anytime something happens. Maybe you hear something exciting going on with the company. Maybe you went to a convention. Maybe, hey, I just thought of you. We talked about this a lot in Miami. You always say it's no pressure because here's the thing, you're planting seeds for when the time is right, okay? I'm so over this right now, you guys. I don't know why it's not liking me today. Okay. So we're going to talk about tracking your follow-ups. So we've talked about this a lot, and I was really appreciative how like honest the group was. You intend to follow up, but you forget who you're following up with, what you're following up with, and when. I'm going to tell you, I 100% have done that. I've done it this time in this business. It doesn't have to be techie, but you have to have something. And we're going to get probably more into this in the upcoming weeks on different ways you can do it. But literally a paper list, notes app on your phone, a Google sheet, a notebook you love. The tool doesn't matter. Using it is what matters. It does not matter what, but you have to. And I'm going to guarantee you, and I'm not going to believe you if you tell me you don't, there is someone, you at least one person that has expressed interest in some way, shape, or form that you have never followed up with because you forgot, or someone that has said no 3 months ago that you never circled back on, or someone I'm going to tell you because it's the truth for me. And so tracking is definitely key, and that's really what sets a lot of people apart. So we kind of talk about this. If you plant seeds in a garden but you don't know where they are, how can you water them? It's literally the same thing. You've got to track your touch points if you want to grow anything. So everyone does this different, follow up timeline. It's definitely going to be like what works for you. We call this the 222. So 2 days after your initial conversation, 2 weeks if you don't hear back, 2 months if still nothing, right? And then, of course, you're going to customize it based on your own conversations, but that structure kind of keeps people from falling through the cracks. 222. Another thing, like we're going to, is how to follow up without feeling pushy. So, the biggest thing, which is when we wrap this around a service, is you're leading with value. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that this is restocked. I wanted to let you know this bundle is back. It's sold out. X, Y, and Z, I thought of you. Use your voice. Send a voice memo. These you can easily forward to other people. They hear your tone. They know it's from the heart. They know you're taking the time. It cuts through the noise. And then another thing I really love is asking permission. So someone asked me for more info today on the opportunity. I sent her information. I said, hey, would it be okay if I checked in 2 days? She was like, absolutely. Another way to phrase this is when you send them information, say, hey, awesome, look that over. I'll check up on you in 2 days. So they know you're going to check up on them. It kind of gives them some sense of urgency to look at whatever you want them to look at because they know you're going to check up on them. Okay. So we're going to talk about just a few different examples. Just like Brooke says, just like we all do, I'm not into scripts. I know a lot of people are like, hey, can you give me a script for this? Give me a script for this. People can tell if it's not you. And that's such an instant turnoff. So always use any type of script that we give you as like a place to start, honestly, because what I'm going to say and how I phrase it is going to be different than how Connie's going to say it, how Barb's going to say it, how Caitlin's going to say it. Everyone uses, and they're going to know that it's not from you. And then that again turns it into that icky sale. So for me, I'm like, hey, love, just wanted to check in. Life's, how are you liking your new skincare? Any questions or tips that I can share? Another thing that I really love to do is posture it that you're the busy one. You are the busy one. So, oh my gosh, life has been so crazy, but I just wanted to make sure you know that you're loving the new skincare. Let me share a tip because that also lets them know like you're so busy, you're really not pressuring at all, but you care about them. You're doing this as an act of service. So, it's the same like, hey, oh my gosh, before I forget, the product that you keep asking me about is finally back in stock, or it's on sale, or you can get free shipping. Like there's always different ways to phrase it. And it's the same for a potential teammate. I remember how sad you were that you missed out on the last $6 join. You don't want to do that this time. I took a minute to message you and tell you about it. And that's just called posturing. We talked about this a lot in Miami too. It's something we learned from Ray Hidkin is like, you are not connected connected to how, if you're not connected, you're totally unbothered. You don't care if they're going to buy, honestly. Like, all of this is serving them. The opportunity is to serve them. You want to help their life. You're not, that stuff happens. It's just business. It's nothing personal. So coming from that space. So a big part, in follow up and why people stop at one or two times is, handling silence. Ghosting's a big one, and just objection. So we're going to say objections are 100% normal, more normal than actually getting the sale, honestly. If you see someone with high numbers, high enrolling numbers, high sale numbers, they have heard more objections than not. They just got used to, they're talking to more people, they're hearing no a lot. I'm telling you, I hear no all the time. So they're not really rejections. Honestly, it just means that people need more information or they need more time. Almost 100% is a timing issue. That is what silence. Silence is not a no. It's a not yet. They're watching you. Even if they don't say a word. I've had people that I've done my regular follow-ups check-in where you can see me doing a blurb, a blurb, a blurb. And then, then they finally reach out. Their life is busy. I'm talking to someone right now that's just like that. And she even owned, she was like, I know, I kind of ghosted on you. She said she had some health problems. I didn't take it personal. I was just doing my job of giving her information as it came up. You know what I mean? Another, when I think of the most powerful story though is and I think we all have one, but I was just trying to think of someone in my former company that ended up also being a big leader, and she ghosted me for about, gosh, was it like 4 or 5 months? Um and I honestly, like, she was almost in, and then she just kind of ghosted me. And I think there was some other drama going on. And I just, like, literally just, like, would comment on her page, respond to her story. I kept checking in. And then honestly, she ended up eventually, and I had no idea, you guys, I promise you, I had no idea. She didn't comment, she didn't like anything. But then she finally messaged me out of nowhere when I thought it was a done deal, because I thought she was committed to someone else. She's like, I'm watching, I'm ready. And so that is, like, to me, a big, reason why I follow up. Like I said, you guys, like Brooke, if she didn't keep following up with me for years, like, and I think of people that I could name, you guys just never know who is out there. You literally don't know who is out there, who is watching you, and who just maybe just needs a little, like, one other check-in. You know what I mean? I'm going to open the chat and look here. Where are we at here, chat? When people ghost you, you don't know what to think. Yeah. So, Brooke, did you want to come on and say anything before we do? Because I do definitely want to challenge you guys to think about follow up as it's not a skill at all. Okay. It's 100% a mindset. It's playing the long game with heart. Okay. So it's literally like you don't know when it's going to happen, but you know it's going to happen. Okay, so Melissa said she had a friend that would say next week they were going to buy, something kept coming up, then they had product on hand. And when you followed up, she said she can't have the day off. You've been working on your list for 2 days waiting on this training. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys right now, we have a $75 shipping, right? Some people, that's a crazy number. Honestly, for someone just getting started, they can grab a lot of good products for, with the $19.99. So I would 100% think of 5 names that you're going to follow up with in the next 24 hours off of this off using the $75 shipping. Send the graphic, you send a voice message, send a note, at least 5. I would go for 10. When you do that, you should message your sponsor, say, hey, I watched the Fortune as a follow-up training. I did my 10 people. Just have some accountability, you guys. Or comment in it, yes. So follow up from today with Brooke. FYI, we have the free shipping promo. Yes, exactly. Follow up, and I'm going to take you off good incentives so I can take you off my follow up until one of us dies list. That is it. And so that's Brooke showing her personality. And, you know, people on my team and my company have heard me say, I'm going to follow up until there's a restraining order or an obituary. No one has, I have not had a restraining order yet. Like, because it is how you posture it, it is where you're coming from. It is you being excited. It is you sharing a gift with people. Like, this is precious. I'm helping you. Like, I'm helping you with this stuff. I'm reminding you, like, how you feel thankful when you get reminded about the oil change, or when you're grateful that you get the email that your Kohl's cash is about to expire. It is the same thing. And that's really where it comes from. So, like I said, this is just the week one. We're going to go into definitely a little bit more about follow up, but this is definitely the basics, okay? The biggest thing is to plant the seeds, use the tracking system, and water the garden. So I would love to definitely, I know a few of my people are on this list. I want to hear the 5 or 10 that you follow up with in the next 24 hours, but that is definitely something. Use that free shipping promo, you guys. So anyways, I'm gonna stop.
Hi. We were making dinner, so I was just listening in. But this is great, and like really, follow up is so important, like Brittany said. And I'll be honest, like I don't have the best system. Like I do have a lead list that's tracked that my daughter went through my messenger and like put everyone in it. But
Yeah.
for me, like to try to keep up with it is very challenging. Like I'll tell you what I did today. I went through my text messages and I ended up and I went through and I was like deleting spam and all this stuff. I made it all the way back to September of last year. And like she was talking about in the beginning about like relationship building. Like sometimes a follow up isn't we have a sale. Like sometimes a follow up is, hey, how are you doing? Like, hey friend, like how's it going? Like we haven't talked in a while. I just want to see how I haven't seen you in my feed lately. And following up isn't always just for potential customers. Sometimes it's for team members, right? Because like a lot of our team members here, they are just buyers, right? So we just want to make sure that we're staying in touch, we're building those relationships, and we're talking to people. But if it's a situation where like don't ever let someone not responding or ghosting stress you out, because most of the time people are just busy and they forget. And that was some of my follow up today was like, oh, this person reached out to me about their thing and I forgot to respond. So I was like, hey, like responded to that. A lot of times people just have a lot of things going on. But if you're just like lighthearted about it, like I think my people know I'm always going to pitch them and I'm always going to follow up with them because it's in my blood. It's who I am. Like if you follow me, I'm about business. Like that's what I stand on. Right. So you have to have that conviction in what you have to offer. And then you're not going to feel as weird about the follow up, but just kind of making light of it. Like I literally just copied and pasted that follow up that I did with a friend. She's been telling me she's going to buy since I started in October, and she reached out to that. So I followed up today with, hey, by the way, we have the free shipping. Good incentive for you to like just basically go ahead and order so I can stop harassing you. Like I'll say stuff like that because it like breaks down the barriers and it gets people like laughing, but they also know that like actually I'm not joking.
No, and 100%. That's why I said, like, yes, scripts are helpful. That's a template and a guideline, but your people that you're talking to know you and want to support you. So if you sound like Brittany, if you sound like Brooke, if you sound like Jennifer, they're like, oh my gosh, what? Sound like you. And also, like, yeah, when someone ghosts, I definitely don't keep pushing with the business. I'll like look on their page, check in on their life. How are they doing? Oh my gosh, I saw you went on this. Start that conversation again, get in their stories, respond to their stories. You know what I mean? There's just so many different ways to just keep it going to where it's definitely not just all about business, but people will know. I think you and I are very similar in that way. Like my friend and my network knows I'm going to.
You're breaking up.
Sorry, it says my connection's unstable.
You sound like a robot.
Womp, womp, womp. Feel like a robot. No, I'm just kidding. And you guys, I'm going to have to share my presentation because it's so beautiful, but it was not working with me today. Things just weren't, life was lifing and I'm having whatever. But guess what I am going to do? Follow up with people.
Yes,
Oh my
always,
gosh, I love you
always,
guys.
always, 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 always. Yeah, like none of you would be on this call if I didn't have a strong follow up game. But remember that this is a long game. This is a long game. I sent an email out to my list last night, like asking people like what's their biggest struggle with social media, and I got a lot of responses, and I was reading through them and like responding to them. And so many people they think of the social media as being transactional versus like building the long term relationship, and that's like really what this industry is all about. And if you have any kind of business, like it's always about the relationships. They may not buy from you this year, they may not buy from you next year, they might not buy from you ever, okay? But if you are showing up and you're sharing value and you're adding to their life, they're probably going to share you with someone else. Hey, you know, you really need to go follow Connie because Connie talks about XYZ and she has a positive attitude, and like this is why you need to follow Connie. Or like they may just like send you a customer, or they may send you, you know, an influencer or something. So it's never transactional. You have to always think of it as relationship and being a two-way street. And yes, sometimes those seeds like sprout right away. Other times you're planting, you're planting, you're planting, you're planting, you're watering, and you're waiting for the harvest, you know. Is there anyone that feels like they're in the waiting for the harvest season? I know I'm feeling it. I'm like, I have so many people that are like supposed to sign up, supposed to sign up, supposed to sign up. And you know what? You just have to keep going out and getting more leads. And then you continue to follow up with those other people. But like Brittany said about keeping yourself busy and making yourself seem so busy, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just circling back to you. It's been crazy. Businesses popping off. But I did want to check back because of XYZ, you know. So it's like if you have all those people that you're waiting and you're like, the reason that you feel weird following up is because you're following up with like the same five people over and over and over. And when you have so many leads that it's taken you like 2 to 3 months to get back to them, you don't feel like that at all. And that was one of the things that I really learned from Jesse Lee.
Well, Christina just put about Jesse Lee in the chat. She says there's seasons. Sometimes you're in the summer, sometimes you're in the winter. And, you know, definitely with different seasons and how, you know, it works. And I was just thinking what you said too, Brooke, like it is like a long game. And we'll talk more about asking for referrals and follow up too when people are kind of hard no. So it's still going to be helpful. Like maybe it's not for them, but do they know someone that it might be for? And that you can get a lot of connections that way. Um, but I was just thinking, I think I had a conversation. I don't want to burst their anonymity, but they were working with someone that they were really excited about. And that person just joined another business and they were kind of bummed. And I'm like, hey, they still stay in there. You know, you're still in their life because it's not transactional. It is a relationship. You'll still be there. And who knows what happens with that new business in 6 months for them. But you're still going to be here. You're going to be building and you will be a safe place for them eventually. Or if not, you're still, you know, the relationship's there. You'll still get value from them. And so it is always coming from a place of service. And when you are coming from a place of serving people, it's never going to be wrong. It's never. And that's why I said you're always going to give them a tip. You're always, you know, you learn about them, learn about their life, what's going on, why this could be helpful for them. Like, and that's really what it comes down to.
100%.
Yep. Well, you guys, thanks for jumping on. I am going to make sure this gets recorded for those that couldn't be on. We will see you next week. I'm excited for the month of May. Lots of exciting things happen. You guys know, always so proud of you. Always love you, cheering all you guys on. Have a great, you know, night.